With recent photos from Sony's upcoming Venomverse entry of Morbius 2, and there's even potential that they could be also used for Venom 2, many of you sent me an article to talk about the fact that there is some belief out there that maybe these two films are set within the confines of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man trilogy, to further continue that series, so let's get to this article. Okay, so now we're going to transition to that version of the video where I talk into the microphone and I show you what I'm talking about. So this was the article that quite a few people sent to me to talk about. So instead of making one of the videos, I'm just going to have it right here in front of me and we'll go through this and we'll talk about what they're talking about and is there any truth to it, or whatever you will. So let's get into it. So Morbius appears to be set in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe instead of the MCU. Okay, so that's the headline, so I see why it's grabbing a lot of attention, why people want me to talk about it. So right off the beginning, there's a lot of questions surrounding the partnership between Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios when it comes to Spider-Man. While the character played by Tom Holland will continue to play a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Sony is starting to expand its own corner, featuring characters like Venom and Morbius. Okay, so we know this, they're going over the basics. This is kind of like what I do in all my videos, because you never know who's new and who doesn't know what's happening, so you have to kind of recap what's going on, which that makes sense. Now, new set photos. Oh, what? Okay, so this is those set photos I talked about before that might be Morbius or Venom, which people are bringing into question. And yes, they do use elements of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. That much is definitely evident there, from the suit to the same fonts and everything. So that's bringing a lot of questions into this. And they're talking about the production in Los Angeles, with the city buses made to look like it's New York, because obviously they're not going to shoot in New York. New York is really expensive, so if you can mask a street in LA, which is much cheaper, and shoot it there, that's what you do. That's what a lot of people do. They use Vancouver or Atlanta. New York is real expensive, so I can understand why they don't. Now, this is where they talk about, the dailybugle.net, not having any of that, the post-credit scene and Far From Home, the logos and everything. And this is kind of what's interesting about it, right? It's not necessarily stated in here of why. They're just kind of making that whole assumption thing, which again, that's kind of everything you have to go by, right? So I saw some people questioning this, some people not. They're just speculating. That's what this is. And there's not much more to it that I can really add to it, It could go any way. And, they talk about it right here, Kevin Feige's quote, if you will. I am through the Spidey's journey in the MCU will continue, and he talks about it here. Spider-Man is a powerful icon, across all ages and everything, and he talks about it right here. Sony continues to develop their own Spider-Verse. You never know what surprises the future might hold. So I think, if you kind of combine everything from the bottom to the top here, you can see how they're trying to reach some sort of conclusion. Now, again, I don't know. Nobody knows, so it's just a matter of time, but it'll be interesting to see what does happen. Do I believe it's set in Maguire's universe? No, but stranger things have happened. It could be anybody's guess, and I think that's what they're doing. They're guessing and taking a stab in the dark, and maybe something will pan out. The snap somehow affected the multiverse, or the multiverse was fragmented due to Doctor Strange or something. We don't know, and Kevin Feige even teases not knowing, so again,